Section 1. Our bodies, the ultimate recycling and waste management plant. Imagine your room. Now, imagine you never ever took out the trash. Pizza boxes from last month, apple cores from last week, dusty old science project parts. It would get pretty messy, right? It wouldn't just be messy, it would start to smell and attract unwanted critters. It would become a place you wouldn't want to live. Well, our bodies are a lot like that room, but way more complex. Every second of every day, your cells are busy working, building, creating energy. They're like tiny factories. And just like any factory, they produce waste. If that waste piled up inside you, it would be a big problem. It would become toxic and stop cells from doing their jobs. That's why excretion, getting rid of waste, is so important. It's science. You eat food for energy. Section 2. Meet the excretory superstars, the organs in charge. Who are the main players on this cleanup team? Let's meet the superstars. First up, the kidneys. You have 2 kidneys. They look like kidney beans, primary filters of your blood, like advanced water purification plants. They work tirelessly, 24/7, sifting your blood, pulling out waste, urea, pulling out waste, excess salts, mixing waste with water to make urine. Heavy lifters processing huge volumes daily, keeping blood chemistry balanced. MVPs, most valuable purifiers. But the kidneys don't work alone. They have teammates. Lungs, also an excretory organ. Breathing brings in oxygen. Breathing out removes carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a waste from cellular respiration. Too much CO2 makes blood acidic. Lungs keep your pH balanced. You're excreting waste with every exhale. Next, the skin, your largest organ. Millions of tiny sweat glands cover your skin. Heat or exercise triggers sweat. Sweat is mostly water. Sweat contains small amounts of urea. Sweat contains salts. Sweat cools you. Thermoregulation, a backup system that lightens the kidney load when you sweat. Section 3. The kidney cleanup crew, a deep dive into filtration. Let's zoom in on the kidneys. What happens inside them is pure scientific poetry. Each kidney has about 1 million microscopic filtering units called nephrons. You heard that right, 1 million. If you unraveled them from one kidney and laid them end to end, they'd stretch for miles. These nephrons are where the magic of blood cleaning happens. The whole process starts with glomerular filtration. Think of it like pouring a smoothie through a kitchen sieve. You want the liquid through, but catch the big bits of fruit and seeds. It's the same idea but on a much smaller scale. Blood enters each nephron through a tiny artery. It flows into a tangled ball of capillaries called the glomerulus. The glomerulus sits inside Bowman's capsule. The pressure inside the glomerulus is high. It acts like a plunger. That pressure forces the fluid part of blood through the thin, porous capillary walls. The fluid is pushed into Bowman's capsule. This fluid, now called filtrate, contains a lot of stuff. Water glucose, sugar salts, amino acids, waste products like urea. It's non-selective. Almost everything small enough gets pushed through. However, the big stuff gets left behind in the blood. Red blood cells, white blood cells, large proteins like albumin. These are too big to pass through the glomerular filter, so they remain in the bloodstream. This is incredibly important. You don't want to lose blood cells or proteins in urine. If you did, it signals a problem with the kidney filters. Okay, so we've pushed a huge amount of fluid and solutes out of the blood. We've got our 180 liters of filtrate. If we just let all of that leave our bodies, we'd be in serious trouble. We'd lose all our water, all our blood sugar, and a lot of essential salts. That would be a disaster. Our bodies are much smarter than that. The next step in the nephron is called tubular reabsorption, and it's all about reclaiming the valuable resources that were filtered out. The filtrate now begins a long and winding journey through the rest of the nephron, which is basically a long, convoluted tubule. It's on this journey that the great sorting process truly begins. As the filtrate flows through the renal tubule, the cells lining the tubule walls get to work. They are like expert shoppers with a very specific list. They actively grab the things your body needs and pull them back into the blood. Think of all the glucose, your body's primary fuel source. 100% of it is reabsorbed back into the bloodstream in a healthy person. You don't want to waste any energy. The same goes for amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. The tubule cells also reabsorb most of the salts and, most importantly, a huge amount of the water. About 99% of the water that was initially filtered out gets reabsorbed back into your body. This step is called tubular secretion. You can think of it as the opposite of reabsorption. It's like a final spot check. The tubule cells scan the blood one last time. Drug metabolites, excess potassium ions, hydrogen ions. After filtration, reabsorption, and secretion, what's left is urine, mostly water, about 95%. And that's the complete journey, from a drop of blood to the final flush. A process that started with a powerful push is now complete. Science. While the kidneys and urinary system are the all-stars of excretion, let's not forget the other important ways our bodies get rid of waste. We've already touched on them, but they deserve another moment in the spotlight. Let's talk more about the lungs. Every minute of your life, you are breathing. You breathe in the oxygen your cells need, and with every single breath out, you are excreting carbon dioxide and a little bit of water vapor. You can see this water vapor on a cold day when your breath looks like a cloud. That's a waste product leaving your body. Then there's the skin, our personal cooling and secondary waste removal system. When we sweat, we're doing more than just cooling down. Sweat is produced by sweat glands, and it's essentially a very dilute form of urine. It contains water, it contains salts, and a small amount of urea. While the amount of waste removed through sweat is minor compared to the kidneys, it's still a part of the overall system. On a very hot day or during intense exercise, you can lose a significant amount of water and salt through sweat. Let's not forget the liver and the digestive system. The liver, as we know, converts toxic ammonia into urea for the kidneys to handle. It breaks down old, worn-out red blood cells. The liver excretes this bilirubin into bile, and other waste products from the digestive tract are eliminated from the body as feces. So you see, excretion is a full-body effort. It's a perfect example of teamwork at the biological level. So, we've taken a grand tour of the body's waste management system. We've seen how the kidneys filter, reabsorb, and secrete the lungs. The skin, the liver all play their parts. The big takeaway: this system is absolutely vital for your health. When your excretory system is working well, your body is in balance. If it's not, waste can build up to toxic levels and cause serious health problems. That's why taking care of your kidneys and your excretory team matters for long-term well-being. And the best part? It's not that hard to do. Rule #1 for happy kidneys. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. 180 liters filtered every day. Remember that? Kidneys need a steady water supply to work effectively. Water dilutes waste and helps flush it out. Not enough water. Concentrated urine, higher risk of painful kidney stones. Like washing a dirty car with a tiny cup of water. Not effective. Give your kidneys the water they need. A healthy diet is also key. Eat balanced meals low in excess salt and processed foods. Too much salt can raise your blood pressure. High blood pressure is a leading cause of kidney damage. Finally, regular exercise and avoiding harmful habits are crucial. Consider it.